Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 383. Stop shrinking to fit the room.
Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
So what's going on, badass? Welcome to your Badass Debrief, the solo follow-up episode where we don't just hear the message, we own it, we apply it, and we walk out of here leading louder in rooms that weren't built for us. In episode 382, we asked the question, I know so many of you have whispered to yourselves so many times, or in the late hours of the night, what if my leadership style doesn't look like theirs? In episode 382, we asked the question that I know so many of you have whispered to yourself. What if my leadership style doesn't look like theirs? And this week, we're flipping the script on what it really means to lead your way and why shrinking to match the room has got to go. All right, for the mic drop, for the truth bomb, let's bring it back to this one moment. I waited 4 months before making a single change because my gut told me to watch, not to fix. And when I finally spoke, they respected me more. That wasn't hesitation. That was intuitive leadership. That was knowing the difference between impulse and impact. Because here's the truth. You don't need to perform with confidence. You don't need to match the loudest person in the room. You just need to hold space with intention. And then you let the room catch up. Just a reminder, you don't rise by shrinking. You rise by showing up as the leader that you already are. Chances are, if you're in one of those leadership positions, if you got promoted, you're already there. You got there for a reason. You already are a leader. And even if you're not a formal leadership position, the fact that you're listening to this podcast tells me you're a leader. And that version of you, she might be bold. She might be quiet. She might be a damn shapeshifter, depending on the room, but she is always aligned. The moment we stop contorting ourselves for approval is the moment people actually start respecting us. Crazy how that works, right? So here's a takeaway from the last episode to remember. If your leadership doesn't look like theirs, good. Maybe you are exactly the disruption that the room needs. Because the barking orders and the ego-driven BS, we've seen it, we've lived it, and it doesn't work. But clear communication, listening before acting, pausing before performing, that's power. That's strategy. That's how you lead without apology. So the pop culture punchline, this episode, straight up Katniss Everdeen energy. She didn't volunteer to follow the rules. She volunteered to break them. She didn't lead by shouting. She led by showing up when it mattered the most, with her eyes wide open and her heart fully engaged. And that's what leader, and that's what real leadership looks like. So the affirmation for this week, say it with me. I don't need to match the room. I was born to lead it. And now one more time, a little bit louder for the people in the back row. I don't need to match the room. I was born to lead it. If this episode lit something up in you, DM me the word shrinkless on Instagram. Let me know where you are done molding yourself to fit the mold. Or take a screenshot of this episode, throw it in your stories, hashtag shrinkless, right? Let me know. I can't wait to see the ways that you're molding yourself to fit the mold and then how you're going to stop doing it. Or all you have to do is recognize it at first, right? You don't have to know the exact strategy, but you can know what you want to stop doing. And then, hey, maybe we can come up with a strategy together. If you haven't, and if you haven't already grabbed your free guide, ordinarytobadass.com/breaking barriers. It's full of tools to help you lead louder without burning out. Now that's it for this week's debrief. Until next time, stop shrinking, start speaking, and don't you dare apologize for leading differently. You weren't made to blend in, you were made to shift the room just by walking into it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.